Hey, what's going on, y'all? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. It's been a minute since we did a live, man. I'm excited to be able to get back on live. We had a few technical difficulties here at the house with our internet service provider, so I literally had to change internet providers. And it's definitely been a roller coaster. So I appreciate the patience from everybody, but we back. Yeah, like I said, we literally had to change internet providers at the house. Internet was horrible. I couldn't get literally 10 minutes. I'm sorry, an hour of consistent internet. It was up and down, up and down. So now we back and we should be A1. But I'm excited about the markets this week. We only gonna pretty much have like a 4-day week because of Memorial Day. So Memorial Day tomorrow, probably not gonna be too much going on. But this is NFP week, so it's gonna definitely be some fireworks going on this week. So just be mindful of where we are in the markets. We're gonna definitely go over the news. We're gonna go over some live analysis. And if you guys have any pairs or anything that you want to see marked up in the charts, go ahead and put them in the chat and I'll make sure I get to those first. But like I said, I'm excited to be back. Let me adjust my camera, make sure I'm centered. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to be back. So yeah, it should be A1. We should be good, y'all. I'm excited for the day. So yeah, we're gonna wait probably another 2 minutes or so before we get started. Before we start popping off in the charts. Shoot out a quick message right quick. Give everybody about another minute or so before we get started. Hope everybody have been having, pretty good trading weeks and things like that. I hope you guys so far have had a great weekend. Hope y'all get a chance to relax with the family and all of that kind of thing. In my neighborhood, the pool opens today, so my kids, they're excited to get out and get to the pool, and all of their little summer adventures, everything is about to begin, so they excited about that. If y'all get a chance, also please hit the like button on this particular stream. I really appreciate it. And for everybody that's been continually rocking with us, man, I really appreciate it. I hope there's continue to be value added for those who engage with this particular channel. It's greatly appreciated that y'all are here, man. And my hopes for everybody that's here is to always pretty much just help you guys to become profitable traders. Okay. All right, y'all. Hey, it's 2:05. Let's go ahead and get started. So y'all know how we start. We usually start with a word of prayer. Dear Lord, I want to thank you for this day, Lord. I want to thank you for life, health, and strength, Lord. I want to thank everybody who will be on this call, everybody that's under the sound of my voice. I pray that everybody has had a great week. I pray that everybody will have a great weekend and weeks to come, Lord. I pray that this channel will continue to add value and help anybody who engages in it to become financially free. If I can help just one person, I feel like that's more than enough for me to continue to go on with this channel. I want to continue to be humble, and I pray that everyone who engages with this channel will experience blessings. And so, Lord, we thank you and we love you and we praise you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all, let's get into it, man. Like I said, I'm excited. We haven't done a live in a minute, so we're going to get right to it. Like I said, also, if there's anybody that wants to see any pairs marked up in the chat, please put them in the chat and I'll make sure I get to them. All right. So we're going to start off with our analysis. to make sure we're good. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure we're good on this front as well. One thing, y'all, to make sure that we A1. Okay, yeah, we good. All right, y'all. So starting off the week, like I said, we got NFP this week, and we probably won't see anything popping off until Tuesday. Because like I said, this is only a 4-day week, you know, being as Memorial Day, the chart's probably going to be kind of stagnant, not really moving. So I don't really recommend anybody trade on Monday anyway. So Tuesday, we got Chef during the London session, Chef and Euro, and then kicking it off for US. For the New York session, we got USD around 9 Central, AUD that night, and AUD also at 8:30. We got CPI on AUD. Okay. Now, and we also have the Chinese yuan that night as well. Looking at Wednesday all day, we got Euro. So Euro might be kind of sporadic on Wednesday. Like I said, remind everybody that it's going to be NFP week, so it's going to be a lot of movement. Also, during the London session, we got Euro around 3 a.m. And then that morning, kicking off the New York session, we got Canadian, we got CAD, GDP, and we got USD at 9 a.m. Okay, we got Chef around 10:05, and we got USD with FOC member Hark speaks around 11:30. So we might see a little spike around there as well. Kicking it off inside of London for Thursday, we got Euro at 4 and at 4:30. We got President Lagarde speaks. Usually when he speaks, Euro sees a lot of movement. For Thursday, that's when we first start to kick off our NFP movement. 7:15, we got USD, 7:30 and 9 o'clock. Okay, and we also trickle all the way down to 12 for FOMC, so be mindful of that. And then Friday, of course, we ended off with the official NFP non-farm employment change for USD at 7:30, so we definitely should see a lot of movement on all our USD pairs. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Like I said, as always, if you guys have any pairs you want to see marked up, go ahead and put them in the chat and I'll be happy to get to them. All right, so first we're gonna start off with EU. Okay, and looking at this is the daily time frame right now. We can see from a daily perspective, we had price to, you know what, I'm gonna actually change the color so it'll be visually better for everybody. Okay, there we go. All right, so for Euro USD on the daily, we can see that it was bullish initially. You can see that we got, you know, price kind of staircasing up in this fashion here. Okay, and we also got a breaker structure in this area right here on Euro. Okay, this here is a daily BOS, a daily breaker structure. Okay, and then we can see right here prices just have a constant downward movement. On the daily, we don't really have a lot of structure. It's just a nice drop. And if you actually added a trend line on here, you can see prices kind of following in this trend or channel, so to speak, you know, on the daily time frame. We can actually add it here, and we can see price is kind of following in this channel. Okay, and that's some of the things that we can just see and notice like right off the bat. Okay, so let's drop it down to the 4-hour time frame. We can possibly see price a little bit more, and we can actually see our peaks and valleys. So with this on the 4-hour time frame, we can see we have downward movement, and from here we can actually see our price action a little bit more, and we can see structure. So from here, we always like to start from right to left when we're marking up our structure. That way we can see our peaks and valleys and our highs and lows. So this is our low here. Okay, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. We're gonna go ahead and mark up our structure. Okay, this is our low point. We can actually look at this as our low point, and this just looking as liquidity, a liquidity grab, so to speak, you know, however you want to look at it. But we'll look at it right now. This is our low point here. Okay, then we'll take this, let's see. Okay, these are equal lows here. This necessarily didn't break that, so for me, I'm gonna be looking at this here. Let's see, lower low, lower high. Okay, this is our lower low here, and we have another one all the way up in this area here. We only need 4 to kind of come, look at our trend. So right here, I didn't necessarily mark this one because these lows are pretty much equal lows here. And so when you look at market structure in this fashion, price is doing this here. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. It's not necessarily a lower high yet because we didn't get any bodies to close below this point here, but this is our structure here, okay? Right here, this is our structure, our 4-hour structure. So now if we drop to the 1 hour, we can adjust it a little bit from the 1 hour perspective. So from the 1 hour, this is our structure here. And let's look at this, okay? Lower low, lower high, lower low, okay? And we just constantly adjust our structure, as we can see it, on smaller time frames and things like that. That way we can see market structure closely and we can actually look at the movements a little bit more to actually catch, price action and things like that. Now be mindful that we're in a bearish market right now. So we want to be mindful that, it's always good to kind of trade with the trend. Hold on 1 second. 1, 2. This looks a little weird here. Low or high. Yeah, I'm gonna use this high here. Okay. So here's what we're looking at. So right now, if we're on an hourly time frame and we're looking at market structure, this is our current legs of structure that we're looking at. So right now, right off the bat, I can see that we have a supply zone in this area right here. Okay. We have a 1 hour supply zone. So one of the things that we can look for is price to possibly come up in this area here and trickle back down. We do see that we have a tap here. Price actually came all the way up and then it came back down. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at our Fibonacci tool because price possibly retraced 50% and probably want to continue to the downside. Go ahead and throw on our golden zone here to actually see where price is at. And one of the things to note, whenever you're dealing with EU usually taps the 50% before it actually starts to go in the other direction. So we can see we got price to wick the 50% and it possibly is going to start its descent. And so here we have an evening star pattern here. As you can see, we got a bullish moment. We got bullish candle here, followed by a doji, and then we got a bearish candle that closed below this area here, which lets us know this is a bearish pattern here. So this is price action for a bearish pattern. We have an evening star right in this area here. So because we have this candle here that pretty much engulfed this one, this is probably a break of structure on a smaller time frame. So let's break it down to a smaller time frame and see what we have. So on a 15-minute time frame, we can see price is giving us this oval shape here. It's kind of rounded, which price, possibly lets us know or give us an indication that it wants to probably go to the downside. One of the things that we can see from the price action that's here is we can see that price took out this imbalance in this area here. It tapped into this level of supply here. And we also have another level of supply that price can possibly come back up to. However, this is 15-minute. However, with this candle here, it already tapped into the supply, so that can be, in essence, counted as mitigated, but it's still possible that it can come back up there. Okay, so let's drop to the 5-minute time frame just to see what price is looking like on that time frame there. Okay. So again, in this area, it's not clear or concise or defined price action. So one of the things I will probably wait, for price to kind of give us clear price action. We don't necessarily want to, just impose our will on here and say, hey, we got to break a structure on 1 minute and things like that. We don't necessarily want to do that. We want to wait for it, on a higher time frame, something like the 5-minute or the 15-minute before we actually continue to the downside. Another thing we can look at too, on this 5-minute time frame, we have a supply zone in this area here that has not been tapped into. which follows an imbalance right below this candle. I mean, right below this zone. Okay. So for me, that would be a better area that can kind of define if price will look a little better as far as its price action. Because right now, like I said, you know, price is kind of trickling all the way up. There's no clear or concise price action. You know, we do have a high here, possibly, you know, giving us a low here, and I would like to see price come back into this area, possibly give us a break of structure, retest, and then continue to the downside. Okay, so with that being said, we can possibly set an alert in this area here. EU hits 5-minute POI, 5-minute supply. That's what we can say. That way we can come back and look at it and see what kind of price action we have. That way we can determine if it's going to give us that breaker structure to put us on notice to possibly go in the other direction. Okay, so that's what we pretty much have on EU right now. Like I said, right now we're in a bearish market on EU, so I'm not looking for any type of buys unless it breaks this high here. Okay, so right now we're in a seller's market, and that's what I want to look for. Also, if we notice on the 5-minute, before I actually move on to the next pair, we had an M15 up here that actually retested this this supply, but we can see on the 5-minute we have a supply up here that hasn't been mitigated as of yet. So that's something to note as well. This can be a really good POI if price come up in this area, so I'm gonna notate that as well. Okay, this supply here is another one that hasn't been mitigated as well. This one right here. So we have a couple levels of supply up in this area that price can possibly bounce off. So we just want to be patient, be mindful. Like I said, I don't really expect nothing to really happen until possibly Tuesday. So we'll see exactly what's going to go on with Tuesday. Okay, and this alert here, we'll make sure that this is in our Discord channel. That way everyone gets the alerts and everyone can be mindful as to what's going on in the market. All right, let's go ahead and make sure that this is in our Discord channel. All right, there we go. All right, additionally, for those who join late, if you have any pairs that you want to see marked up, just put them in the chat and I'll be happy to get to them. All right, so next, let's go ahead and look at USD CAD. Okay, so this pair has been a little weird as far as the price action on it. If you look at this from a daily perspective, you know, it almost look as though that it's consolidate, which it, you know, we got equal highs and equal lows, so to speak, in these areas. You kind of look at it from here. You know, you can also look at it from here. You know, these equal highs and equal lows. So price is actually playing in between these two barriers, the support and resistance that it has here. Okay. And from that perspective, I mean, we can look at price, you know, in a retail type of way, but actually still kind of trade smart money as well. You know, we utilize all of our tools here. So what we can do, because this is a daily, we can actually play within these daily levels. We can come here and we can mark up these levels like so. Let's see, we'll do sharp gray box right here. Change this one over to a sharp gray box as well. And if you notice within these levels, just from looking at this, these are playing around bank levels. This level right here, if we added a line here, this is close to 33,000. You can almost look at it like that. And in this area right here, this one is close, right in between 39 and 38,000. So we can possibly look at, let me see, the 39 is right here. So the 38. Let me see if I moved it down to this area right here. We can possibly look at the 38, possibly. Yeah, we can look at price something like that. You know, because price from a daily perspective is playing in between these two zones. Okay, so now let's drop it down to the 4-hour time frame to kind of look at price action and see what we can actually see within these areas. Okay, so right now, if we're looking at the 4-hour time frame, let's see how we can look at this price action. Let me also make the screen a little bit bigger. There we go. Hopefully that'll help. And let's see, right here we had lower low, lower high, lower low, break of structure, retest. Okay, so now we're starting to see price trickle up. So we're going to play with this leg of structure here. Okay, so right now we're going to start with the highest point because we're playing with this leg of structure right here. Okay, so we can mark up this as our high. Let's see. No, not that. Okay. So our low here, all the way down here from a 4-hour perspective. Here. Right, this is our structure here from a 4-hour perspective. All right, so now one of the things that we want to look at is our Fibonacci. Okay, so this is USD CAD. We want to at least see price come back somewhere in this area here. Okay, and another thing that we can do to identify what leg of structure we're working with, something that I usually do, I'll put a trend line here from the top of the leg to the bottom of the leg. That way, wherever I am in the market, it'll let me know that my direction as far as my trend is going up. Okay, so it'll let me know that it's bullish. If I'm playing with smaller time frames, anything within this leg of structure here is still let me know that we're ultimately looking for buys. However, I will be looking for a retracement into this zone here and possibly continue to the upside. Okay, so let's drop it down to the H1 time frame just to see exactly what we can see. And so from a 1-hour perspective, let's see, this is our high, low. Let's see, make this a little bigger. Okay, so I'm gonna use a different color just to mark up our 1-hour structure, just so I can distinguish the two. So blue line here. So this is still our high. It's our higher low, higher high. Higher low in this area here. Okay, so right now, if we're looking at the hourly, one of the things that we can see is price tapped into this demand level here. Okay, this is an H1 demand that price tapped into. And from there, it possibly gave us a break of structure to let us know, hey, I want to continue to the upside. Okay, because if we utilized our fibs on the 1-hour time frame, it's well within our golden zone already from the retracement on the 1-hour. Okay, let's drop it down to the 15-minute just to see exactly what we have. And we can see on the 15-minute time frame, we had downward structure here. And then we had a break of structure in this area and it's starting to retest. Okay, so that's something that we can see in this area here. We had a 15-minute break of structure. All right, so now from this 15-minute break of structure, we can see the price actually retested in this area here and came back down once again. Okay. Like it came up down in this area, retested, came up again, and started to retest again. Okay. And so one of the things that I can see or notice right off the bat from this on USD CAD is right here we have an imbalance that price has not tapped into. Okay. This is a 5-minute imbalance. All right. And we also have a demand level here as well that we can mark off for price to possibly tap into. Uh-oh. Okay, this is a 5-minute demand zone. All right. And like I said, we're bullish right now. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for buys. So because we have a 15-minute break of structure, from this perspective, we can look at the 1 minute or the 5-minute for break of structures to possibly go in the other direction. Now, right now on the 5-minute time frame, the structure that we see, you know, lower low, lower high, lower low. Let's look at the 1 minute to see if we see any indication that price wants to turn around. And so from a 1 minute as well, you know, price is almost consolidating in this area here. Let's see if we have lower highs and lower lows though. We actually do. So because of that, in this area here, it's almost as though we had a break of structure in this area here and a retest already. The reason why I said it is because this candle here, you can see it came back to actually tap into this level of demand in this area here. Oops. This is a 1 minute demand. We can see price started here, wick through, came up in this area, came all the way up, break of structure, closed below, closed above, and then we have price to come all the way down, tap into this level of demand, and come all the way back up, and price stopped in this area here. Okay, so price looks as though it wants to actually start going back up. If we can get another pullback possibly into this zone here, that'll actually be pretty good. We still don't have a break of structure on the 5-minute yet, which is this area here, which is what I want to see beforehand. 5-minute BOS, USD CAD. Yeah, I would like to see price breaks this area first. If it break this, then I would like to see a retest. But if we can get a tap into this demand level here first, that'll be ideal, because that'll give us more price action here, and we can possibly, you know, maybe catch a break of structure somewhere closer to this area to ride it back up. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for USD CAD. We're bullish on USD CAD. So for this particular pair, I'm only looking for buys. For EU, I'm looking for sales. Okay. All right, let's go over to GU, and I'll probably be looking for sales for GU as well, for the simple fact that USD is in the denominator of this particular pair. But let's mark it up and let's see what we got. All right. So if we're looking at this from a daily perspective, let's see what we got going on. Okay. On the daily, we can see from our price action, we had lower lows and lower highs in this area here. Came up, trickled down. We had a break of structure right here. Price came down a little bit, came down a little lower, then it started to go higher. Okay, so we're gonna play with this leg here. Being that this is the daily, we can see that it's starting to produce higher highs and higher lows and things like that. Okay. All right. So let's go to the 4 hour. That way we can look at structure on the 4 hour, and we can break down price a little bit more intimately, as opposed to the daily time frame. Okay. So on the 4 hour time frame, we can see, clearly we got lower. I mean, we were in bullish momentum in this area here. Okay. Price came down, gave us a break of structure. Haven't really came all the way up and retested like we want to, but price, as you can see in this area, if we're looking at this price action here, we're creating bearish momentum, lower lows and lower highs. All right, so let's start from the lowest point and then let's go up from there. So if we look at this here, that's our low. This is our high. Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Or low, lower high in this area. All right, we got our 4 points. Okay. And so one of the things that we can see from this perspective, we're looking at bearish momentum. That's what we want to look at. Right here, we have a 4 hour supply. Hey Ish, what's going on, my man? All right, we got a 4 hour supply in this area here. Price didn't quite come all the way up to this area. Let's go ahead and throw our Fibonacci tool on there just to see exactly what price retraced to. All right, so we can see that price tapped into our golden zone and decided to price decided to drop a bit. So let's drop down to the hourly to see what we can see as well. So on the hourly time frame, we can see price tapped into this level of supply here, and then we have another level of supply all the way up here that has not been mitigated yet. This is a 1 hour supply. This would be ideal for price to come all the way up to this area and then continue its descent. But we can see, no, not necessarily. I was gonna say this is a break of structure in this area, but it's not, because as you guys can see, we don't have any bodies to close above this wick right here. All we have is wick action, no bodies. So this is pretty much a liquidity grab and it dropped. Okay, so no bodies. We look at bodies when we look at that kind of thing. Okay, now possibly on a smaller time frame, this probably is a break of structure, like the 15-minute, because like I said, price possibly wants to come all the way up to these areas here. All right, but as far as an hourly perspective, we are still bearish. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the 15-minute. Okay, we got a little bit of price action that kind of broke here. But like I said, I'm bearish. I'm not necessarily looking for buys, and this is just price possibly wanting to come back up to these supply zones in this area, in these areas here. So I'm not gonna look to possibly catch any type of price action to ride price up. I'm literally gonna wait for price to break this area here. GU breaks, I'll call it short-term high. Okay, GU breaks short-term high, and then I'll also put an alert down in this area here, and I'll call it a COS, continuation of structure. Okay, because if it breaks this low, GUCOS. If it breaks this low, then I know price is just pretty much continuing with this bearish structure that it's already on. and it wants to go lower. This retracement here is good enough and it wants to go lower. So we just want to set it for both areas. That way we can kind of trap price and know exactly what the market wants to do. All right, so that's pretty much what I have here on GU. Like I said, we could kind of classify this here as a swing. When we look at it, lower low, lower high, lower low. We could look at it like that. We really could. Let's see. Look at price action. Yeah, that's actually, we actually can look at that. Because it's valid. We got more than a 2 candle pullback. And it broke the range of this. As you can see, way more than 2 candle pullback, and then it dropped down. So that's what we can see. This is our price action here, or our structure from the 1 hour perspective. Lower low, lower high, lower low. This, I'm gonna move this up here. So this is our structure. Okay. Right in this area here. And like I said, if price comes up in this area here, we just want to be mindful and see exactly what price wants to do. Okay. Yep. All right. Let's go ahead and move over to AU. Start on our daily. As we can see with AU, it was consolidating a bit as well. Price is kind of trapped within this 68,000 all the way down to this 66,000 here. And we can see that price actually broke through. All right. So we could trap price like we kind of did with, what was that, USD CAD? Yeah, with USD CAD. You know, we can look at that. Let's look at this one a little different though, before we kind of trap price, because like I said, it already kind of broke out of the consolidation. So I don't necessarily want to trap price with this one. When we're looking back at USD CAD, this one is actually still within the consolidation. So I didn't necessarily, that's the reason why I kind of did the borders and boundaries and support and resistance type style. Okay. But in this one, we have market structure on this 4 hour time frame. So let's go ahead and mark it up. We got our low here. Always want to start off with our structure. We got a high, lower low, and we got a lower high in this area right here. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna choose this one here. Okay, so now because we have this massive leg of structure here, we can put our directional trend on to let us know where we are within the market. So I usually put this on when we have a long leg. I usually will put this on, that way it'll keep me honest and let me know where I am in the market from a high time frame perspective. Okay, so on a 4 hour time frame, I can tell this is the leg of structure that I'm working with. Market is still bearish. All right, so we have all this to work with. We have a lot of real estate in this area. Let's look at our zones. We have a supply zone here. Okay, we have one way up here. Let's look where price is currently positioned at right now. We can see that we had a couple supplies here. We had a bearish, bullish, bearish. Price tapped into this, kind of went through a little bit and then trickled down. Okay, so let's drop to the 1 hour to see what we can see. All right, so on the 1 hour time frame for AU, a couple things that we can see. Right now we have a 1 hour supply here. to see on this particular time frame. Okay, it's not clean market structure here on the 1 hour. So let's drop to the 15-minute. So on the 15-minute, you guys, this is how we can tell price wants to kind of turn around on us a bit. And also, from looking at this, I can almost see a Wyckoff accumulation that formed or actually just hit, so to speak. Because if you go back to some of our videos looking at Wyckoff, we talk about the 3 drives down, 2 drives up, or you can say it the other way, 2 drives up, 3 drives down for an accumulation. And accumulations usually happen at the bottom of a range. And so right now, this is the bottom of this leg of structure. This is the bottom of the range. And so in this area, we can see we have 1, 2, 3 drives down, and we have 1, 2 drives up. This peak here, make this a little bigger. This peak here is higher than this peak. So this is actually valid for a Wyckoff accumulation. And I'll actually mark it up so we can see it. And we can see the moves. Okay? So when we mark this up, you want to start with the lowest move. So with this one here, this will be considered as our spring. Okay? And this is pretty much an extra, you know, this is advanced, but it's an extra form of confirmations to see that price wanted, you know, turned around, so to speak. So then from there, we have our ST at Sal, and we have our SC, which is our selling climax. Okay? These are our 3 drives down. From here, you have what is called an AR, automatic reaction. And then we have our UA, our up thrust action. Once you have these points here, you can start to formulate your trading range. And your trading range is usually formulated from your SC and your AR. And I'll show you how we can utilize this as an extra confirmations when we're actually trading. Okay? So right now, just looking at this, I can see that in this area we have an imbalance. Okay? And so when we're notating our trading range, we can utilize the wicks or the bodies, wherever makes sense. And so when you see imbalances or order blocks and things like that, you want to try to get what is called trading range alignment according to your trading range. So if we move this up on our bodies, we can see that price pretty much goes through this order block here, which is almost like 50% and things like that. But if we were looking at this, we want to make sure that we're moving both of them accordingly. So we're going to utilize the bodies. But if we were looking at this for an entry or something like that, we can look at this imbalance right here as an entry. Okay? And we possibly can look at this area under here as our stop loss, which can possibly be like a 1 to 10 trade or something like that. You know, if we looked at this, let's see. If we looked at this as an entry, this is like 2 pips or something like that as far as our stop loss. Now, I probably wouldn't do that. I might do something maybe down here for this wick, give us about 6 pips or so. We can come up here, you know, with Wyckoff, like I say, we coming all the way up to this area. That's like a 1 to 6 there. And let's see what price did. Look at this. You know, it probably would have, depending on your broker, it might have would have wicked you out or something like that. And some brokers it wouldn't have. But as you can see, price came down to this area, gave a rejection, and then price actually started to move away. So this is an accumulation pattern that we have in this area. Okay. So with that being said, because we missed the accumulation, things that are followed by an accumulation is a reaccumulation, which price will come back and retest and start to go away and start to trickle away. But on this, one of the things that we can notice that correlates with our market structure is we have a 15-minute breaker structure right here. Okay. price came back, it retested in this area, it retested the supply zone, I'm sorry, demand zone, which correlated with our Wyckoff accumulation. This is 15 minute, okay? And then if we drop to the 1 minute or so, we can possibly see break of structures that price wants to turn around and go the other way. So if we drop to the 1 minute, what do we see? Bearish momentum here. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Break of structure in this area right here. Okay. Break of structure. So price hasn't retested like I would want it to retest yet, but let's just take a look and see what it's done. Nope, it has not come into our 50% range yet. So I like to see price come a little bit lower. Yeah, I like to see price come a tad bit lower before it continues to the upside. Okay. But that's pretty much what we're looking at from that perspective. I want to see price come down a little bit more. So I'm going to put an alert here. AU breaks short-term low. Okay. Let's see something for a second. Now, when we're looking at, one of the things I mentioned is what follows an accumulation is a reaccumulation, okay? And so from a reaccumulation perspective, let's see what we have. We don't necessarily have the movements as of yet, because with an reaccumulation, you want 2 drives up, 3 drives down. We don't necessarily have that yet. I mean, we do kind of sort of have it a little bit over in these areas. And so I just want to be patient. I want to be patient. But like I said, at any rate, I want price to pull back into this area here before it continue to go up. So that's what we're looking at. As far as our bias for AU, we do have a supply in this area here, which is a 5 minute. But ultimately, for this particular pair, we're in bearish momentum, but we're looking for a retracement because we're at the bottom of the range. And so we want to see if we can get a bounce here and possibly ride it all the way up to this 1 hour area here. Or even so, there's another 5 minute all the way up in this area. So AU for me is probably the most promising pair that I see right now. AU would be the one that I'm really looking at this week because it's at the bottom of the range, and I'm looking for we could possibly catch counter trend trades, some really good counter trend trades on AU. Okay. So AU probably will be the #1 trade, like I said, #1 pair that I'll be looking at. Yep. Hey, what's going on, man? Malik, yeah, I'm doing gold. Gold is actually going to be next. I'm doing gold next. All right, y'all. So that's pretty much what I have on AU. Let me go ahead and make sure that this is in the Discord channel as far as our alerts. And then we're going to move on to gold right after this. All right, cool. All right, that's pretty much what we got on AU. Let's go to gold, and then we're gonna switch over to NZD. You know what? Let's do NZD Chef first, and then we're gonna do gold, because gold is my bread and butter. I like gold more than any other pair, but I'm starting to like NZD Chef as well. For NZD Chef, let's look at this pair. From a daily perspective, we're bearish. We're bearish on this particular pair. We can see huge movements in the market with this particular pair. We're bearish. Lower low, lower high, lower low. It actually broke here. It came up a little bit, and we possibly might see another break this and tap into this 50% order block that happened some time ago. Right now, one of the things that we can see on price, and I don't know if it possibly wants to go higher. It possibly can, you know, because we had already had a lower low in this area here. So this here is a daily demand that price has tapped into. Okay, if we come to a 4-hour time frame, we can see well, let's see what we got. Yeah, from a 4-hour perspective, we actually literally just broke structure. On a 4-hour, if we look at it, we had a high, we had a low, we had a high here, and we had a low. And we can see right here, at the end of the week, price broke structure. 4-hour break of structure right here. Okay. So with that being said, like I said, we might see price come down a little bit further, tap into this order block, and it continue, because we got this massive unhealthy price action here that price has to come back into. It has to, you know, it has to fill these orders, these unfulfilled orders in this area here. Okay. 4-hour supply here. So we have an alert down in this area here, because I believe this was a, we had an alert here because we had an imbalance in this area. We also had another 4-hour demand in this area here. Okay, let me make sure this is in our Discord, and then we're gonna go ahead and move on to gold, you guys. I'm gonna change this. NZD taps imbalance. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and look at gold. So that's pretty much what I have on NZD Chef. Let's go ahead and end with gold, okay? Now gold, I have some marks on here that I've marked up already. And we're gonna walk through what we actually see, okay? Let's start off from the daily time frame just to see exactly what we have. And so with gold, a couple of things that we can see is we were in bullish momentum for a while, and then we just finally decided to break structure, okay? So we can see on gold, we had movements here. Higher high, higher low. We had higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure in this area here, which is why we indicated our daily break of structure, okay? And so one of the things that we want to see possibly is for price to give us a pullback and then continue to the downside. However, our pullback, you know, we know with gold that we possibly might not get a pullback all the way to the 2000s right away. That might happen sometime down the line. So let's look at the structure that we have and the structure that we have right in front of us that we can play with. So when looking at gold right now from a 4-hour perspective, we're bearish, okay? And we can also mark off our leg of our structural leg trend to know exactly where we are within the market of gold. Okay, so right now, when you look at this, if we look at our 4 movements, let's see, So from a 4-hour perspective, this is our market structure here. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay? So now, we know that this is our 4-hour structural points. So let's look at this. Let's break this thing down. So we can see that we had a 4-hour supply here that price tapped into. Okay? We had a 4-hour supply. We can see price came up, tapped into this area here. However, if we break it down, like I said, we still have room for price to possibly come all the way up to this area here. But if we break it down to the 1 hour, you can see some of the things that we have as well. Let's move this a little bit over like this so we can actually see it. So in the 1 hour perspective, we have this massive imbalance, unhealthy price action. We also have the supply zone up here that has not been mitigated yet. So one of the things that I wanted to see before the week had closed, and it didn't necessarily go all the way up there. It came up a little short of closing off this imbalance and this unhealthy price action. I wanted to see price come up here and continue to the downside. However, it decided not to do that. Okay, now price, like I said, can possibly come all the way up here because we're bearish, but it can retrace all the way up into this area. Now let's throw our Fibonacci tool on there to see where we are within the market. Hold on. Okay, Malik said US session is closed tomorrow, so less volatile hopefully. Big impact news on 30th. I am currently at a sell position from 1984. 1984. Are you still in that sale? I am just confused if I should take profit or not. Well, have you taken partial, Malik, have you taken partial profits? I mean, because that's a lot of profit for you to just leave 100% on the table. I mean, for me, you know, if I'd have been in a bearish move like that, you know, I mean, because you said from 84 up here all the way down to this area. Right now, you should be like 300 some pips in profit. And, you know, not knowing what your lot size is and all of that kind of thing, me personally, oh, so you have taken partial. Okay, if you took partial profits, hey, let it ride. Just let it ride. You know, just make sure you move your stop loss a little bit in profit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say you caught 84 or something like that, put your stop loss right above this supply zone here or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or you can say, okay, if price start to come up to this supply zone, let me go ahead and just take what I have or whatever the case may be. But you took a 0.1. Okay, yeah, that's cool. You know, you can let it ride. I mean, because like I said, we're in a bearish market, but I do, me personally, and I'm not 100% sure because you know how the market is. Price can come all the way back up into this area and then come back down. You know what I'm saying? Or we know how gold is. Gold can just come up to these areas here and come back down. Either way, you know, they're both valid, you know, but you know, like I said, if you took partial profits, I mean, you can just ride it out, keep your stop a little bit in profit and, you know, do what you do. You know, let that profit just, you know, eat up. Or if you want to take what you have now, that's fine too. Nothing is wrong with taking profit or putting your stop loss, you know, a little bit in profit, whether it, you know, being that it's a risk-free trade, because it can go in your favor and that thing can drop. It can go far because it's in a bearish market anyway. Okay. And one of the things we can see right now is we got this, you know, double bottom pattern here. As we can see, we got this W forming on the bottom. Like I said, I think price is going to come up a little bit further, you know, before it actually continues to the downside. All right. So with that being said, let's drop to the 15 minute and see what we can see from the immediate price action. So right now, price action is not extremely clear. One of the things I can see, this is still our lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high on a 15 minute. So if it breaks this area here, that's going to be a 15 minute break of structure, which is going to cause it to retest and go a little higher. okay, before it can come back down. But right now, if we're looking at this, my total bias right now, what I'm hoping can happen is for price to come up to this area here, give us a break of structure retest on either the 5 minute or the 1 minute, and then continue to the downside. That's pretty much what I want to see happen on gold. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, we already know how gold is. Gold can be sporadic and it can do whatever it wants to do at any given time. But because we have these big candles of unhealthy price action and things like this, you know, I'm more inclined to think that price wants to come up, tap into this, or it can tap into this one here as well before it kind of go down and do exactly what it wants to do. Before I kind of get off this pair, let me go ahead and put my golden zone here. That way we can know exactly where we want price to tap into. Move my fib so it's not looking junky. I'll move this over like so, move this over like so. And so this is our golden zone here. So for me, price haven't even come up to this area and tapped into our golden zone just yet. So like I said, I'm looking for price to come up to this area. Yeah, I need price to come up a little bit higher before I continue my bearish momentum for this particular pair. Okay, and then one of the things we can look for, if we go to like the 4 hour or something like that, we can look on this side over here to see confluences as to where we think price might go. So right now we got a couple areas. Like, check this out. We have an imbalance in this area right here. We have a demand level here that hasn't been mitigated with a nice demand level order block right up in this area, which is a 4 hour. So we have a lot of areas that price can possibly target, you know, when it's dropping. You know, let's see what, okay, that's been mitigated. But yeah, like I said, we got this imbalance right in this area here that price really can tap into, you know, before it retraces. But that can be a target for us. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and throw our fields back on and just look what the confluences is like. Wow, look at that. If it retraces up here, look where our negative 27 is. This can be a target. This can be a target. This imbalance right in this area here, this can definitely be a target. So, oh yeah. So that's my bias there. I want to see price come up to this area here. I'm more than likely thinking that it's going to come up here because gold a lot of times like to retrace to the 78.6, which is this area right up here in confluence with our 1 hour, or we can even say our 4 hour supply. Go ahead and put that on there as well. We got a 4 hour supply right here. 4 hour, let me move this 1 hour over a little bit, like so. Okay, so I want to see price come up a little bit into this area, maybe 1975, and then possibly come back down. But if I can get price to come up here, give me a break of structure on a lower time frame, I'm literally gonna probably see if I can ride it all the way down here, because like I said, this is the target that I'm looking for, and it's correlating with this imbalance. So for me, that's a huge confluence. Okay, hey you guys, let me see, I will hold and set my SL in at break even. Yeah, you can do that too. You definitely can do that. Hey you guys, we like 5 minutes over, but before we cut out, are there any questions? Those who are on the call, have you guys joined our Discord? You know, I want to make sure you guys are locked in. You know, we help each other as a community and things like that. Any questions you have, you know, just put them in the Discord chat, and you know, we can help each other. Also, like I said, are there any other questions before we cut out? If there are no more questions, then you know, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of this joint. But let me see, do we have this? Let me make sure this one is in yeah, I need to make sure this is in Discord as well. Yep. Gold approaching golden zone. That's what I want to see. All right. All right, you guys. Well, if there are no more questions, hey, I appreciate you guys for rocking with us today. I see you guys during the week. Hope you guys have a relaxed week. Have a great and safe holiday. And I see you guys in the chat, and I see you guys in the market this week. We out.